with my boys, and yesterday I went to church with my son Danny because he had gotten baptized about a year and a half ago at this church, and so when he comes home and he goes to a service, I'll go with him. And I always get teary, and I think of Ty, in this meditation and the walking. And I remember when Judith and I went to his retreat back in 2011. Before one morning before the morning walk, he did say his famous, the miracle is not walking on water, but walking on earth. And I remember how he said it, because he's probably said that so many times, but it was like he was saying it with such enthusiasm and such love that it felt like he was saying it for the first time, like he was really feeling it, totally, fully feeling that spirit of, embracing the recognition of our shared being, and there are 800 people, crowded around and walking with him. And also, it reminded me, this meditation, of a talk he gave about Dharma Rain. I don't know, do you remember a talk about that, Judith? About Dharma?
We talked about it a lot.
Yeah, I didn't remember any specific talk, so I didn't, but I remembered some stuff about that, and about how the Dharma, the spirit of the Dharma, is always, watering the seeds of understanding and compassion and true happiness. In another book I've studied, Kwang Roshi had a saying about this. He said, for most people, our usual way is to bring all of our dualistic thinking, all of our concern with purpose and success into our activity. But this way only separates us from what we are doing and causes us many problems. We should work like the rain. The rain just falls. It doesn't ask, am I making a nice sound down below? Or will the plants be glad to see me? Will they be grateful? The rain just falls, one raindrop after another. Millions and billions of raindrops only falling. This is the open secret of Zen. When we sit, we only sit. When we cook, we only cook. Otherwise, we are doing our work and spending our time in vain. It doesn't matter whether you're a Buddhist or not. Whether you're in front of a computer or digging a ditch or painting with a brush, it doesn't matter. In every activity of our life, we can follow the example of the rain. When you engage your life in this way, when you bring some confidence to it from the foundation you discover in sitting, this is intimacy. This is quality of being. It is a deep expression of your original nature, and there is no self-consciousness between you and your activity, no second-guessing, and no doubt. And so for me, this really kind of ties into what he's talking about, stopping borrowing. The way I see it, it's one thing to see the obvious process going on, with climate change, and how our greed for comfort and false safety, we're borrowing from the precious gifts of the earth just to enhance and expand and try to make permanent our selfish comfort, make things, and not being aware of the damage we're doing to ourselves, because we're taking that energy of love and compassion and using it for just all these selfish ends, So it's more than just the climate change. We're borrowing from our real self. So, but Buddha's teaching is to have compassion for that, but to be aware of the fact that we are really alienated from our true self. And, to allow the rain of the Dharma to penetrate the soil of our being, seeds of understanding and love. When we receive the Dharma rain, just allow the self to be penetrated by that rain of our true nature. So those seeds can sprout, and we grow in faith. Faith is as a state of being, not as a state of mind, but faith in the foundation of our shared being with all beings that's already always ever present within us. And he said, Kwang Roshi said one other thing. He quoted a saying from Bodhidharma's teacher, one of the famous Buddhist teachers from ancient times. He wrote something very important, very simple and wonderful. It points to the clarity and the way of our practice. When I inhale, I don't dwell upon things. When I exhale, I don't pursue thoughts. Thus I breathe the sutra as it isness, hundreds of thousands of millions of times. So this, he says, this is exquisite. This is the pinnacle of Zen. Seeing things as it is, as they are. Though it is not always so, little by little, through long training and practice, through your zazen, you will realize that your original mind, where the river no longer longs, but is the ocean, is just like this. So we can gradually become free of thoughts and so much alive, vividly, joyously alive within this very life. It's so spacious, calm, clear, and bright. So that's what Thai's teaching embodies for me. I mean, he had such a deep connection to the earth. When he talked about his mother being the moonlight, as he was walking in the steps of all his ancestors, or his beautiful poem, How the Earth is Waiting for You. In all the many different ways we can draw on the happiness of the present moment and be enriched by our true nature. And I get the feeling from him that somehow he's deeply in touch with this incredibly benevolent force behind things. Say the background awareness, or the background, the depth of our being, that can inform us and is pouring out. I feel that in his spirit, he's pouring out the realization of our shared being, and also the assurance from this incredibly benevolent force that there's no reason to ever be afraid, that we can learn to accept suffering, and through that long practice, little by little, over and over and over again, we can become aware that the boundary of what we can accept is the boundary of our freedom, and that freedom of our true being is possible for all beings. There was a short little saying from the teacher Nisargadatta that we sometimes talk about here, because Judith and I like him a lot. He was asked by a student, does the inner teacher or inner guru also teach? And he replies, he grants the conviction that you are the eternal, changeless reality, consciousness, love, within and beyond all appearances. And the student says, a conviction is not enough. There must be certainty. Pretty bright student there. Conviction is just mental, but the certainty of being, it goes beyond that. So Nisargadatta responds, quite right. But in this case, certainty takes the shape of courage. Fear ceases absolutely. This state of fearlessness is so unmistakably new, yet felt deeply as one's own that it cannot be denied. It is like loving one's own child. Who can doubt it? So as Ty said, we all have this deep fear in us, and I know I still have that too. But, we have the shining example of all these great bodhisattvas, both great teachers, who do have the power to grant us that intuition, that conviction of intuition, and that realization of our being that is fearless and is always pouring down the rain of the teaching to us, on us. And we can dedicate our life and give our life for that energy, offer all our energy to liberation, that spirit of liberation. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Beautiful. You know what, I was wondering if some Monday evening we can all practice walking meditation on Zoom in our separate abodes. Right now it's kind of, at night it's almost too cold to go out unless you really bundle up. But I was thinking maybe we could each find a circle in our own room where we are and practice about 20 minutes of indoor walking meditation together. Because I think it's one thing to talk about walking meditation, it's another thing to practice it. And of course, I always think of Ty's walking style, which was to float. I mean, I've never in my life ever seen anybody walk the way he walked. None of his monks or nuns. I know everybody tried to walk
tried
like
to copy him, yeah.
But nobody else was floating. That's what he was able to do. And in the floating, there is total liberation, total compassion, total non-fear. I like to say yes to the next thing that's happening in my life, which is very helpful in terms of tamping down any fears that I might have. Just say yes to the next thing. And when I do that, I'm opening my heart and coming a little bit closer to that background consciousness that you were talking about, that's always there, the consciousness that is love, that is us, that is always available.
Yeah, it's like remembering that every moment of our life we've always been ourselves.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever not been their self, right? So what is it that's always, all the experiences, all the thoughts, feelings, perceptions, sights and sounds are always different and flowing by. That's the impermanence. But that I that's always is yourself is unchanging.
And yet, like Walt Whitman said, we contain multitudes.
Yeah.
Yes, the I is always there, but we contain everything that is. The I contains everything in the cosmos. Yes, Roger?
Yeah, 8 billion dances, but one dancer.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to share? Okay, we have Lee. I don't know what happened to Lee.
He just
Are you
didn't.
still with us, Lee?
He's still there. He just hasn't come back. The video hasn't come back.
I think maybe he went to sleep.
I
Maybe
don't
he's
know.
having.
He's been working hard.
Yeah, he has been. Bob, what did you have in mind that you wanted to say? Oh, we can't hear you, dear. You're on mute. Just unmute it.
Right there, now? Yeah. Okay, I think I'm back.
Yeah.
I got into the meditation and almost, fell asleep, and then about halfway through, I heard some noises somewhere, nothing, enough to distract me, so I got back into it again. So, but that was the only thing that I noticed. Great. Just had a long, stressful day, and this was really helpful.
Oh,
So,
Good.
good.
I'm not sure after walking meditation, I could stand up and turn in a circle. The space I'm in is pretty tight to reorganize it.
Oh.
I remember doing walking meditation when you guys were up here, old time. That was a neat thing. We used to walk around the farm grounds of the house there. Yeah.
It was 70 acres altogether.
Yeah, we didn't do all of that.
Wow.
No, we didn't do all 70 acres, but it was very beautiful to do walking meditation there. And now Daniel has made it possible for us to do walking meditation here in another extremely beautiful place with the pond, which I don't know if did I share with you that we call Olden Pond.
Olden Pond instead of Golden Pond. On Olden Pond. That's pretty good.
But I mean, it's a beautiful path that he made and is still working on. So, yeah, it is easier in those conditions. In good weather, outdoors, it's ideal. But maybe there would be a way that we could figure out to do it online. Maybe. We'll see. Do they ever do walking at the one that you teach in Florida? They're in Zendo. Do they ever do walking meditation?
Oh yeah, they do. They call it in Japanese, and they call it kinhin.
Kinhin, yeah.
Kinhin, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do it.
I was first trained in Kinhin before walking meditation.
It'd be nice to do walking meditation. I can do it with Bodhi, my puppy.
Yeah. Well, we have dogs galore for walking meditation.
Yeah.
We can't take them all at once, but we can take them one at a time.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
walking dogs doesn't make for a very peaceful
No.
meditation
Yeah.
quite often.
It depends on which dog you have,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
I mean, because Dutchie is like, he heals completely. And he behaves so beautifully.
What about Alfie?
Alfie?
Yeah.
Alfie likes to run as fast as he can when he's out there. Yeah, he's unleashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bodhi likes to eat everything within range. Actually, when the first 5 minutes of the meditation tonight, I looked at what's he eating, and I realized this big pile of vomit, and he was trying to eat the vomit that he did. So I spent the first 5 minutes cleaning up the vomit. Yeah.
It was a great meditation.
Yeah, it was fun. I was glad of the
meditation.
right. All the compassion, I needed it all. Yeah.
They bring us right to where it is, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. So how are we on time? Let's see.
We got another 10 minutes.
Let's hear from everybody tonight. What's your response to all of this, Devin, having been introduced to it fairly recently?
I enjoyed the meditation. Let's see. It was a little difficult to get into it, but once I did, it wasn't too bad. I enjoyed, what was said as well.
Good.
Yeah. I'd also like to see Brody if I could, because I've heard about it, but I've never seen this dog.
Can you show him?
Well, he's sleeping.
Yes, okay.
Let sleeping dogs lie, as they say, you know? Especially right after they vomited, you know?
That's a good point, yes.
Maybe another time. Oh. Lee, are you there? Lee, wake up. It's time to go to work. No.
Yeah, maybe he did fall asleep because he probably would have turned off the video if he had left or
Exactly.
something. Yeah?
Exactly. I think he's asleep. And he probably needs the rest right now.
Yeah.
So. Daniel?
Unmute myself so somebody might hear me, and I'll go crazy with my echo.
I don't hear it.
Wow. There's at least half a second delay with the echo. And I think the idea of indoor walking meditation would work for us, because we could walk around the island.
We have plenty of place to walk in this house.
Yeah, but that would be, a short circuit there, rather than doing the whole house.
Yeah.
And I think if you had some timing system or something to keep a certain rhythm going, might be a good idea. Maybe a bell in a certain intervals.
Or you can use your breathing
Yeah.
in walking
Okay.
meditation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it's generally done.
Mm-hmm.
So that when you do indoor walking meditation, it's much slower. What Roger was referring to as kinhi.
Mm-hmm.
Indoors, you take half a step with each foot. You don't even take a full step. But if you're doing outdoor walking meditation, a la Thai, you might be breathing in 1, 2, breathing out 3, 4, 5, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, your breathing would determine the rhythm.
Yeah. And actually, lots of people have said, and this has been my experience also, that your mind tends to wander less when you're walking in meditation in rhythm with the breathing. In other words, it's sort of like you can kind of do it slow enough that there's a rhythm there with the breathing, and your thought energy just kind of blends in with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's somehow easier than when you're just sitting completely still.
Yeah, because it's an extremely focused style of walking.
Yeah.
You're really focused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, Thai says, and this they don't tell you this in Japanese Zen, but Thai says, absorb all the wonders outside of you and within yourself, both. So he gives you a lot to do while you're walking, actually.
Yeah. Actually, the wonders are always being absorbed, but we don't pay attention that much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we pay attention, that's another way of focusing the walking and getting that, keeping that rhythm, which I think is a really good point, Daniel, about the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
I think that's why the breath is used.
Yeah.
So, and just, walking with Ty was, I mean, it sounds really corny, but it was like walking with Jesus. He was just so, I don't know, he was a beautiful teacher.
Yeah.
And he would always hold the hands of the children. And the children would come on the walking, and there'd be hundreds of people. And he would be up at the head of it.
Yeah.
And hundreds of people walking completely silently in the natural world.
Yeah. Yeah, Judith, you haven't told the story about your granddaughter holding Ty's hand for a long time.
Should I tell it?
Yeah, we got another 5 minutes, so why not?
Okay, so we were doing walking meditation. Heather was 12 years old when I took her to Plum Village, France, and she was one of the people whose hand he took. So he held her hand during the entire walking meditation. And afterwards, people gathered around Heather and me and said, "Heather, what was it like to hold his hand? What was it like?" And she said, "It was just a hand." She's a Zen master already, right?
Right.
At age
It's just a hand.
12. Like, don't get carried away.
Yeah.
I love that story.
That's a great story.
Yeah. And then on another occasion, I said to Ty, I was sitting next to him, and I said, "Dear Ty, I always hold your hand with me wherever I go," which the grammar of which wasn't that great. I thought about it afterwards. But what I noticed about his hand was that it felt to me like a butterfly's wing. It just makes me tear up to think of it. That's all my walking meditation stories.
Yeah, well, with teachers like Ty, it's like, even though he's gone, it feels like his presence is still very much here.
Oh, very much so,
Very
yeah.
much so.
Yeah. He's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
He affected hundreds and thousands of people deeply. And I remember the first time that I heard his voice. Now, I don't worship him, he's a man. But the first time I heard his voice, something moved in me. It was on a tape. And I was completely absorbed in his voice. It didn't even matter what he was saying, And a lot of times I felt that way during Dharma talks. It didn't matter. He said, "Don't take notes. Just let the Dharma wash over you." Speaking of Dharma Rain, right? Let it wash over you. I would see people assiduously writing down every word that he said. And he really advised us not to do that. And that advice, I think, you would find holds true through all of the traditions of Buddhism. I'm not certain of that, but I think that's true.
Yeah, that's been my experience. And also in other contemplative traditions also.
Yeah, and the other thing that one of my first teachers told me, Japanese, she said, "Don't gobble the Dharma." Because, you in the beginning, you're so in love with meditation and you're excited about the exotic nature of Buddhism, and it's just all so wonderful that you start reading books cover to cover, and you can't even absorb them because you're reading them. So, the middle way is what we're advised. the middle way.
Yeah.
So it's time. That went quickly. I love you all. And I miss Lee because I wanted to hear from him tonight, but, well, maybe next week.
We'll find out.
We'll find
What
out.
happened?
We'll find out the answer to the mystery next week. All right. Everybody enjoy.
Take
No
care.
stress. No stress over the holidays.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
stress.
Well,
Thank you all.
thanks.
Bye.
Take care, Devin.
All right.
I